Martha Washington, America's original First Lady. While the title First Lady wasn't used in her lifetime, Martha Washington was the woman who defined the role through her grace, fortitude, and unwavering support for her husband and the new nation. Early life: Martha Dandridge Custis. Born June 6, 1731, in New Kent County, Virginia. First marriage. At age 18, she married the wealthy plantation owner Daniel Parke Custis. Tragedy and independence. Her first husband died in 1757, leaving her a rich young widow at 26 with two young children, John, Jackie, and Martha, Patsy. She inherited a vast estate, making her one of the wealthiest women in Virginia and giving her unprecedented control over her own life and fortune. Marriage to George Washington. Martha married Colonel George Washington in 1759. It was a partnership of mutual affection and practical advantage. He gained a loving wife and the social and financial standing her wealth provided. She gained a capable manager and a partner of immense character. They settled at Mount Vernon, where Martha expertly managed the sprawling plantation household, overseeing everything from cooking and sewing to the care of enslaved domestics. Revolutionary War supporter. Lady Washington. During the 8 long years of the Revolutionary War, Martha's contribution was immense and personal. Wintering at camp. She spent nearly half the war away from Mount Vernon, traveling to the Continental Army's winter encampments, including the brutal winters at Valley Forge and Morristown. A moral booster. Her presence was a deliberate act of support for General Washington. She organized social events for officers, mended socks, knitted for the soldiers, and visited the sick and wounded. She brought a sense of normalcy and civility to the harsh camp life, boosting morale immensely. Partner and confidant. She was her husband's closest companion during these trying times, providing crucial emotional support and steadfastness. First Lady, 1789-1797. As the wife of the first president, Martha had to invent her public role from scratch. She understood that every action would set a precedent, setting the tone. She hosted weekly receptions known as levees. These were formal public events designed to be accessible to all, reflecting the new republic's democratic ideals, while maintaining the dignity of the office. The name, Lady Washington. She preferred this simple Republican title over more aristocratic alternatives. The press and public, however, began to refer to her as Our Lady Presidentess, signaling the need for a title for the president's wife, which eventually evolved into First Lady. A reluctant public figure, she was a private person who cherished her home life at Mount Vernon. She wrote that her time as First Lady felt like being a state prisoner, but she performed her duties with warmth and diplomacy because she knew it was necessary for the country. Complex legacy: slavery at Mount Vernon. Any discussion of Martha Washington must acknowledge her complicated relationship with slavery. Wealth in enslaved people. The vast Custis and Washington fortunes were built on enslaved labor. At Mount Vernon, over 300 enslaved people worked the fields and served the household. Contradictory position. While she expressed private discomfort with the institution, she was a lifelong slaveholder. Notably, upon George Washington's death in 1799, his will stipulated that the enslaved people he owned were to be freed after Martha's death. This created a tense and dangerous situation at Mount Vernon, as those enslaved had a financial incentive to wish for her death. Fearing for her safety, Martha chose to sign a deed of manumission a year before her own death in 1802, freeing her husband's enslaved people. Martha Washington, First Lady and revolutionary supporter. As the First Lady, Martha Washington set the standard for the role by hosting numerous social events and gatherings that helped build important political relationships. She was known for her grace and hospitality, which played a vital role in supporting her husband's presidency. Additionally, she managed the presidential household with efficiency, ensuring that the social and political aspects of the new nation's capital were well handled. Her ability to create a welcoming and influential social atmosphere allowed George Washington to foster alliances and gain support among political leaders. Martha's social gatherings served as an informal forum for political discussion, helping her husband navigate the complexities of early American politics. Her dedication to these duties contributed significantly to the stability and success of his administration. During the Revolutionary War, Martha Washington was an unwavering supporter of the Continental Army and her husband's leadership. She spent winters at the military encampments, providing much-needed morale and comfort to the troops. Her presence at Valley Forge and other camps not only boosted the soldiers' spirits, but also highlighted her commitment to the cause of independence, solidifying her status as a key figure in the revolutionary effort. Martha Washington faced numerous challenges during wartime, including the harsh conditions of military encampments and the constant worry for her husband's safety. The scarcity of resources and the threat of enemy attacks added to the difficulties of managing her household and supporting the troops. Despite these hardships, she remained resilient, using her influence to rally support and maintain the morale of both the soldiers and their families. Martha Washington's legacy in American history is marked by her pioneering role as the nation's first First Lady, setting a precedent for those who followed. Her contributions to the Revolutionary War effort and her support for her husband's presidency showcased her strength and resilience during a tumultuous era. Today, she is remembered not only for her grace and hospitality, but also for her unwavering dedication to the nascent United States. She played a crucial role in maintaining the social networks that were vital for his leadership, often hosting gatherings that bridged political divides. Her understanding of the political climate and ability to connect with influential figures helped ensure that George Washington had the backing he needed to govern effectively. By fostering relationships and offering her insights, Martha provided a stable foundation that enabled her husband to focus on the challenges of leading a new nation. These gatherings served as a forum for dialogue and understanding among diverse political factions, promoting unity during a time of potential division. By creating an environment where leaders could engage in civil discourse, Martha helped to bridge gaps and foster collaboration. Her efforts in hosting these events were instrumental in building a cohesive political landscape that supported her husband's leadership and the fledgling nation's stability. One of the most notable gatherings hosted by Martha Washington was the weekly social event known as the Republican Court. These gatherings were held at the presidential residence and provided an informal setting where politicians, foreign dignitaries, and prominent citizens could meet and discuss important issues. Another significant event was the annual New Year's Day reception, where guests from various backgrounds came together to celebrate and exchange ideas, further strengthening the bonds necessary for a united government. Martha Washington meticulously planned and orchestrated these events, ensuring they were inclusive and welcoming to all attendees. Her keen attention to detail and understanding of social etiquette allowed her to create an atmosphere conducive to open communication and collaboration. Through her organizational skills and warmth, she played an essential role in facilitating meaningful interactions that contributed to the nation's early unity and governance. Social events in early American governance played a vital role in fostering relationships and building consensus among leaders. These gatherings provided a platform for informal dialogue, allowing politicians and influential figures to exchange ideas and negotiate solutions outside the formal constraints of government proceedings. By promoting personal connections and mutual understanding, social events helped to bridge ideological divides and create a more cohesive political environment, essential for the stability and growth of the new nation. Social events were crucial in early American governance because they provided an informal setting for leaders to build trust and understanding. These gatherings allowed politicians to discuss ideas and negotiate outside the rigid structure of official meetings, fostering collaboration and consensus. By creating an environment where personal connections could flourish, social events helped bridge political divides and supported the development of a unified and stable government. For example, George Washington often hosted dinners at his home, where he facilitated discussions among political leaders from different factions, helping to ease tensions and promote cooperation in the early years of the United States. However, some argue that the reliance on social events for governance had its drawbacks. These gatherings could exclude certain voices, particularly those of marginalized groups, and reinforce existing power dynamics. Additionally, the informal nature of these events sometimes led to favoritism or decisions being made without proper accountability, potentially undermining the democratic process. Favoritism refers to the practice of showing preferential treatment or unfair advantages to certain individuals or groups, often based on personal relationships, biases, or shared interests. This can undermine fairness and equality, particularly in governance or decision-making processes, where impartiality is essential. This is similar to a teacher favoring certain students in the classroom, giving them better opportunities or more attention. While it may seem harmless, it can create an uneven playing field where others feel excluded or overlooked, ultimately affecting the overall fairness and balance of the environment. Favoritism can create an unfair and imbalanced environment, undermining equality and fairness in decision-making processes. Establishing clear and transparent criteria for decision-making can help ensure that all parties are treated equitably. Encouraging diverse perspectives and inclusive participation in discussions can also mitigate the risks of favoritism. Additionally, implementing accountability measures and regular evaluations can maintain impartiality and fairness in governance processes.